I'm going to break this down into 3 parts. Here's the first part, the first training secret I want to talk about in this kind of age-defying cyclist system we're trying to build, and it's polarized training. Dr. Seiler's research shows that doing about 80% of your sessions at low intensity and 20% at high intensity is a winning formula. This isn't just for pro athletes. It's not just a thing for them. It works for masters athletes with jobs, families, the works. The key is polarization. On easy days, ride easy, like zone 1, coffee spin, easy, zone 2, easy. If you want to get technical on it, it's anything below LT1, your first inflection point on the lactate curve. And go hard on the other days. You're hitting those with intent. Why? Well, it's all about balancing stress and recovery. By keeping easy rides truly easy, you avoid overstressing your body so you can nail those 1 to 2 key high intensity sessions each week. And those intense days give your body the signal to adapt and get stronger. Most amateur riders do the opposite. They go moderately hard all the time, living in the dreaded grey zone. That just leads to burnout and plateau. If you're 45, juggling work, family and training, you can't afford junk miles that tire you out. Do less, but better. In practice, this might look like 3 or 4 low heart rate rides a week, but when it's interval day, you're hitting it. You're doing, say, 5 by 3 minute VO2 max intervals at 95% effort. 2 days a week of that is plenty for a masters athlete. In fact, Seiler warns that more than 2 high-intensity training days a week can actually backfire for older athletes, increasing sickness, injury, and even heart rate arrhythmia risk. So we cap intensity at 2 days. Quality over quantity is what you need to be thinking about, with lots of gentle riding in between. Now, about those easy rides, are they really worth doing? Are they doing anything? It feels like we're just going out the door and going for a walk on our bike, twiddling our legs. What's the point in all this? Well, I had a chance to chat with Vasilis Anastopoulos. He's the head of performance at Astana, and he coached Mark Cavendish when he took the Tour de France record last season. Zone 1 training is actually a cornerstone of building endurance, Vasilis told me, and that pros and masters athletes alike, spending long hours of low intensity is non-negotiable for improving fatigue resistance and aerobic base. Think 5 to 6 hour steady rides at a conversational pace. It sounds almost too easy, but this is where the magic happens. The goal is to push your first lactate threshold, LT1, higher and closer towards your second threshold, meaning over time you can ride harder before you start accumulating fatigue. Essentially, you become an endurance monster, able to cruise at speeds that used to feel hard while barely breaking sweat and nose breathing. Physiologically, these long zone 1 rides, they boost your mitochondria and capillary density. They also train your body to better burn fat, preserving precious glycogen levels for when you need it later in an event or a ride. And here's the kicker for older folks. They're gentle on your joints and your nervous system. You finish, yes, a little bit tired, but not destroyed. You're not falling in the door and showering with your clothes on. Yes, I've been there, crying with my clothes on in the shower. And that means you can get up and you can do it all again tomorrow. This repeatability, it's gold for masters athletes. Vasilis basically told me that endurance has no shortcut. You must put in that low intensity volume to see the big gains later. For amateurs, this is a game changer. Stop viewing easy rides as junk miles. They're foundation miles. So secret 2, schedule long slow rides every week or whenever fits your life, and guard it, protect it, viciously protect it, because it's building your aerobic fortress brick by brick. Alright, we've covered cardio, but what about the muscles pushing those pedals? By around age 50, if you're not strength training, you're losing muscle. It's called sarcopenia, and it shrinks your power reservoir. Joe Friel points out that the loss of muscle contributes to VO2 max decline. Less muscle means less oxygen uptake. The fix is to get stronger. Friel insists his athletes have at least 2 strength training sessions per week, all year round. And this isn't just to make you look good, it directly translates into cycling performance. A recent study found that master cyclists who added weight training saw a whopping 17.8% improvement in cycling efficiency, whereas younger riders saw only 5.9% gains. Let that sink in. Older athletes benefit more from strength training work because they have more to gain. Strength is often their limiting factor, not cardio. By doing heavy squats, leg presses, deadlifts, etc., you're not just fighting age-related muscle loss, you're actually boosting your endurance performance. Strength training bolsters bone density, helps prevent injuries also. And this is important because an injured rider can't train. That sounds obvious, but if you can't train, that undermines your consistency, and consistency is your secret weapon. So don't skip the gym. Twice a week, 30 to 45 minutes is enough. Think compound lifts and some upper body work too, because we need overall stability. And if weights aren't your thing, Friel suggests alternative muscle stressors like big gear hill reps on the bike. You know, those old school strengthies where you're going, dropping right down the block, 53, 11, 12 in a slight incline, and you're grinding it out. But one way or another, you need to challenge those muscles. Now, I know all of this talk of intervals, long rides, and lifting weights, it sounds like a lot for a busy athlete. And you might be thinking, how on earth do I recover from all that? I'm age 55. Well, the answer is recovery now needs to become part of your training plan, especially for masters athletes. Friel jokes that when you're 20, you could smash hard workouts on back-to-back days, but not so in your 50s. Older athletes need more rest. That's not a weakness, it's just biology. Professor Stephen Seiler emphasized to me that rest days are your most powerful reset tool. A day off will do a lot more for you than another recovery ride where you're still pushing some watts. This was a big shift for me because I used to ride easy on Mondays on a recovery ride where I might go out at 120 watts and just ride to the calf. No more. You're either riding or you're recovering. Ditch those recovery rides. Also, let's talk about sleep, the ultimate performance and hack. Most masters athletes are busy people and we steal hours from sleep to fit everything in. It's really not a good idea. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone. It repairs muscles and it consolidates gains from your workouts. My old French DS used to say, allows them to be absorbed. Joe Friel stresses aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep a night. That might mean skipping your late night Netflix binge, but I promise you it's worth it. When I spoke to legendary triathlon coach Olaf Boo, he told me often his athletes will forgo their evening massage just to get to bed early. One more pro tip, consider shifting from the traditional 7-day training week to a 10-day cycle if recovery is tight. Seiler notes that you don't have to cram hard workouts into the Monday to Sunday traditional calendar. Instead, we can zoom out and use a 10-day microcycle, and this could allow, say, 2 quality interval days and your long rides with plenty of time to rest in between, spread over a week and a half. And this flexibility can keep you progressing without burnout. This episode today has been supported by BIKMO Cycle Insurance. Insure your ride with BIKMO today and they'll donate £10 to Trash Free Trails to support their work in protecting our planet. Head to BIKMO, BIKMO.com and use the code ROADMAN to get covered and support our wild spaces. Terms apply.